So I knew I was going to be in the top 10. And so they flew us back to New York. And I remember when they called my name and they said the Kansas City Kings, it was kind of like a nondescript, like Kansas City. I mean, what is that? That was my feeling. Then I was like, oh, well, I'm in the NBA now. So it was a big event. I don't know if it was televised or not. We recorded, but it was, a nice big production. And like I said, they knew who the top players were going to be, so they flew us back there.
As far as your pro career, would you say that your best years were right back home in the Beaver State in Portland, or when you look back at your career, what were your favorite couple of years in your career?
So there was a narrow, with Portland, I was here 3 years, but there was a narrow window of about a year and a half. And then my health issues in terms of my ankles, about halfway through my career, I started developing bone spurs in both ankles. And so that went with me the rest of my career. So when I got to Portland, I just come out from Chicago, and I had a coach in Chicago who had really worked with me on my game, both from a mental standpoint. And he said, you're really a power forward, not a center. So he worked with me on that. But in Chicago, our center was a guy by the name of Dave Corzine, who was not a post-up player. And so people still put their centers on me in Chicago. So when I got to Portland, I was excited about being able to play the power forward because we had Sam Bowie, who was a high post passing center. We had Clyde and Kiki and Terry outside shooting. So I'm like, I got the low post to myself, and it's just I was so excited about it. But then Sam broke his leg, and then I remember sitting on the bench thinking, okay, dang, we got to find a center. Who's going to play center? And I was like, dang. So I got moved back over to center, and I pouted for a couple of weeks and did not play that well. But then I finally went back. I went to the coach. I said, Coach, I don't think I'm a center, but I can do a much better job than I'm doing. And I'll give you 110%. So I wanted to have my best year, and then started out the same way next year. That following year, I got selected to the All-Star team, but my injuries caught up with me. My bone spurs caught up with me again. So yeah, so Portland was a highlight. I had highlights in Chicago also, and then my 1 year at San Antonio. There were other highlights, but being able to come back home to Portland and performing well in Portland, yeah, that was fun.